there's so much of talent in the region, and this is a really good opportunity for them to basically showcase that they are as good as everyone else in the world, and they do have that opportunity to do that with this tournament. I think that's a massive opportunity for everyone who is taking part, and I think that should be at the foremost of their motivation to get there, because yes, the prize money is good, but you want to be able to prove that you're the best when it comes to the game itself. So I think that is what is motivating these teams, and it's going to be wonderful to see these semifinals and grand finals.
Obviously, but as we go on to the tournament, let us explain the point structure once again. So it has been used, this point structure has been used for quite a while. We have like chicken dinner getting 15, then we have like 12 for the second one, 10 for the third one, 8 points for fourth position, 6 points for fifth position, then we have 4 points for the sixth position, 2 points for the seventh, 8 and from any position that you fall in between 8 to 12 we have 1. Then after that we have 0 points for 13 to 16, and we have 1 elimination point. And during this point structure, I feel like it has been changed for quite a while, but it incentivizes the teams more to take a part in those engagements or fights, so that you get more and more elimination points. For example, for you to get any good amount of points in this point structure, you would have to be top 4. Otherwise, if you get kills like 4 to 5 kills, that's like you already being in the top 5. So any team, I feel like in maybe in the semi-finals, not definitely the finals going ahead, if you want to get good points, you need to prioritize survival as well as elimination, so that you can have good points against any other teams. So yes, I feel like this point structure incentivizes teams to be a bit aggressive.
Indeed, and I think we saw that yesterday as well, right? I think placement alongside elimination points is going to be key, and I think a lot of teams have been looking forward to it. Majority of the fights that the top teams have been taking is after they are in that top 6, top 8 level, and then they try to take these engagements. And the name of the game has been these third parties that have come in, where you don't take the fight directly and you third party into a fight, so that you get a couple of eliminations while else holding on to all of your players, rather than losing a couple of them early on in the game and then being forced to rat out the entire time just for placement points. And some of the top teams, especially SITM, and then we saw a lot of the teams that did really well, including SITM, and then even stronger esports, they were consistent throughout the entire 6 games, and that was due to them taking up position early on. Predicting the ring, I think predicting the closing ring accurately is also going to be key, because you want to bunker up, look for those eliminations, hold ground, and look for easy eliminations rather than taking outright open-ended fights where you can get third party and you can get eliminated very early, and then the landing spots also do come into play. But before that, let's take a look at the rosters that we are going to be seeing. It is going to be the same 16 teams from yesterday, but let's have a look yet again. So we have ISSL, Noble Lions, NB Esports. Also, Equinox had a really good performance in game number 1 yesterday. We have RGC OPEX, who had a very consistent performance. Retaliation X did not live up to their expectation. Hopefully they will change things around. We have SITM, the juggernauts in the tournament, 7AKS X, Stronger Esports, Astra Esports as well. Again, we are seeing a lot of repetitive names here that have been really good yesterday. Victor Gaming, Inertia Esports getting a chicken dinner yesterday as well. Bad Intentions also getting a chicken dinner yesterday. Then we have Team Classics, who was struggling a little bit. Then P Esports, who came back really strong in the last couple of games. And MacPen, who had a very consistent performance yet again. I think they were around 5th or 6th at the end of the day. And I think they had a very consistent performance throughout the entire 6 matches. But again, consistency is going to be key. One chicken dinner is not going to get you on top. You need to be consistent across the 6 games. I think, RZ, we were talking about, for us even, being able to get through 6 games is a tough job, right? I mean, these players are undergoing a lot of stress, so they need to be able to pace themselves out across the 6 games and, keep that momentum going also. You can't go all out in the first 3 games and then lose a momentum in the last 3. You're just going to fall below everyone else. So they need to have a consistent performance throughout these 6 games.
I mean, obviously, and I have talked about like some teams talking about like momentum as well as the first 3 games, that you don't get your hopes up in the first game, or you don't lose your positive lose positivity in the first game as well. You have to be positive. You have to be in your just a good mindset throughout the 6 games. But before we talk about these things, we have the overall ranking in front of us. Like, will be right in front of us in a few seconds, and we'll see how these teams stand before the day 2 actually starts. And coming from the bottom side, we have Retaliation X with 11 total points, and after that Astra Esports with 15 points, ISSL Noble Alliance with 28, CMF IPG PMNC with 31 points at number 13. Team Classic 922 with 34 points at number 12. And we have the B Esports with 36 points at number 11. And they have played 4 matches. So I'm a bit curious at why have they let go of 2 matches. But something that is quite interesting on the page number 1, and you will agree with me. Any team that want to take over SITM Esports right now, that's going to be difficult. They already have 29 points lead as ahead of any team. They got 3 winner chicken dinners, so it's going to be very difficult for them to do like. And if they have the same momentum, I feel like they're going to just keep increasing the margin they have right now.
Yeah. And the disappointment, I think, is going to be for 7AKX. They coming into the semi-finals, they were 2nd seed. They were just below SITM Esports in terms of points coming into the semi-finals, and they haven't had a really good performance in day number 1. So they obviously are going to be looking to come back strong with day number 2. Close the gap because they're below the top 8 here, and they want to grab as many points as possible on day number 2 to make sure that they get their momentum back. I think they have lost it somewhere down the line coming into semifinals day number 1. Hopefully they will find it. But you're talking about B Esports, right? I think their performance in the last 3 games yesterday was insane, right? Because we didn't see a lot of action from them in the first couple of games. They were bottom of the barrel alongside Retaliation as well as Classic Esports as well, and they just came back very strong. You saw them taking very basically very aggressive fights as well, and also they did go for those eliminations. They did focus on placement points as well. It was I think there was one game there was 2nd place fighting up against SITM Esports. I think that was the 4th game or the 5th game if I'm not mistaken, where they were 2nd place as well. So they did manage to come back extremely strong after a very lackluster start of the day. But in terms of top performance yesterday, VP gone. I mean, from this guy went absolutely ham on one particular game where he got 11 eliminations, if I'm not mistaken, 10 or 11, right? And it was Victor Gaming wasn't seen as one of the teams that were getting a lot of chicken dinners or even in the top 1 or 2 places, but Victor Gaming gone had like a very consistent performance across the 6th game. He was always in the kill leaderboards, getting those eliminations. It was insane to see 20 eliminations across 6 games. I think that's a massive achievement for him.
Obviously, and the team that have got the chicken dinner, their survival time is less than the survival time of this player. So that clearly shows how much of a outstanding player he is, or how much he maybe is not fitting in the team that he's currently playing in right now. Going against a team that got 3 chicken dinners in 6 games, and you got like 20 kills out of 50, 20 kills, and the second player got like 15 eliminations, points. So that is something I feel like is great for you coming in from this player as well, and I really hope his team can provide him much more support in terms of him performing as well, and team can actually keep up to him, because right now he's performing absolutely crazily. But game number 1 is gonna be going live soon, really quickly. I'm very excited for it, and I really hope something comes out of the box. But semi-finals day number 2, match number 7. Erangel is live in front of us, and the plane is coming in from Novoroponoi toward the side of shooting range, almost like coming in, cutting the map from like 60-40. We have got great cities in range. Maybe the left side of the map, which is Query, Primos, Ferry Pier. This is a bit out of range, but if you really glide, I feel like you can reach those places as well.
Indeed, and yesterday also we didn't see a lot of engagements right off the bat. Players tend to, and the teams now have kind of realized where each of the teams are landing, so you don't want to be running into any of the other teams right off the bat and taking these early engagements and have the risk of being eliminated. So I feel like we will have quite a spread here for match number 7, since this is like the 3rd map that we're playing or the 3rd match that we're playing on Erangel as well. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit slower pace to start things off, and I think we will see, after a couple of circles it does close in. I feel like that's where the action will start off at.
Obviously, I feel like once you play a couple of days in generally against some teams, a couple of matches like Miramar, Erangel, they start off slow. Unless you go on a clash landing, maybe someone, you don't actively take engagement, take as well, so that you don't.
PMNC Sööтиш wildcard-ын 2 өдрийн тоглолт 8 Монгол бүгд тэмцэлд оролцож байгаа гэдгээр онцлог.
So I feel like this is just going to be the same that Orangel. We're going to be teams going to their like drop.
Эхний 5 багийн 3 нь Монгол хэлэх байх уу?
Vehicles for themselves, then they're
Та бүхэнсээ overall rank-аас харсан байх.
Very little engagements happening, but I feel like a lot might just happen on the second part of the map. Where, like after 15 or 16 minutes, there's going to be enough engagements happening. But for now, we already got a man down, and also being eliminated from the server.
Yeah, I think
George манай топод шеэрлээд байнга үзсэн шеэрэ хийгээд өгөөрэй.
Not going to be too happy with that, but the engagement is still happening here. They are
Би спорт за энэ ч энэс надад ч тулцсан Dexter 2 сумтай shotgun-тай явж идэг яаж жилнэ.
turning around, running into the play.
Эй! Юу лүү тгээ явцсан бэ?
Doing some work here, getting the second knock onto.
Заримд ямар ч тэ тэмцэн бай гэсэн маань хуйгаа. Энэ тэмцээний нэр нь яг энэ класс шиндэ зүүн доотлын болон дээр гарцсан байгаа 2022 PMNC SITM Wild Card гээд semi final шилдэг 16 баг тамирчдын тулаан. Үүний 8 Монгол баг тамирчид байгаа. За өчигдөржингөө яг энэ тухай тайлбар хийсэн учраас манайхан бас мэддэг болсон баха.
Probably will be looking for placement points now.
7 AKS, they are towards the Milta side, and that's a good place to be generally because you can rotate to the south side of the map if the circle goes there, towards the mid of the map or towards the north as well. So generally a lot of teams love to play that part of the map, and I feel like they done
Walk cloud hello Aramdurgi. Аруу сайхан үргэлжнэ үү?
the Georgia pool containers trying to find loot, and I feel like that's
Баярлаа зүгээртэй. За шэрэ хийгээд өгөрөө монголчуудаа олоолаа олж аваад Монгол баг тамирчтай илүү олоолаа дэмжнэ 8-8 Монгол баг тамирчтай явж байгаа тэмцээнд. За Сосноком military base центртэй тойрог татсан Stronger-ийн сосын центр дээр за B-ийн Ferry Pipeline гүрээ гараад ирсэн. За эргэж хараад BT-г тасаад авчих боломжтой автог хийчих боломжтой position байна. Инээс болон 7AK давхартаад Nao чиглэлийн гүүрнээс гарч ирж байгаа бол Equinox 922-ийн Nao-гийн гүүрэн дээр автог хийх хэрэгтэйсэн. Гэтэ 3-1 гэсэн positionтэй явж байгаа юм байна.
come up to the SITM, they are doing wonderful and something.
Эндээс шалгарсан багууд цаашаа PMP-д оролцох хэрэгтэй болно да.
Definitely are in the most favorable.
Саял орж ирлээ гэнэ гацаатай байна л гэж байна.
This type of position yesterday in game number 1 as well, where they did get.
За миний дамжуулж байгаа цаанаас ирж байгаа YouTube-ийн дүрсэн дээр л гацалт байвал танаас гацаатай өрн түүнээс би дамжуулаад явуулахдаа л миний интернет бол асуудалгүй гацахгүй байгаа хаа. Тэгэхээр гацаж энтер болоод байвал өөрсдийнхээ бас интернет чеклэрээ интернетийг шалгаарай.
The circle or the zone rather, and I mean we have a bit of a scuffle with the vehicle. I'm trying to jump
I
over.
will definitely not give my vehicle to Zolax. he just allowed himself to crash into a big
Astra,
rock. I mean, you can
Billy's hired on me the Riley гэсэн бүрэлдэхүүнтэй Astra Монгол баг тамирчид маань явж байна. George container төслүүдийг хийгээд rotation эхнээ.
Definitely, you don't want him driving your vehicle. But again, everyone has been getting into their vehicle, looking for the rotation to come into the ring here. And again, the squad is to watch out. We have RX here on the feed here.
Монголын ямар багууд байгаа бэ гэнэ. За Equinox 900 Classic, Team Classic байна. Astra байна, Victor Gaming байна, SITM Sport байна, Stronger байна, NB Sport-ийн байна.
And we haven't had entire team get eliminated yet.
obviously, but this is a circle that has caused.
Десант ярка хайрам дэргээ за орж исэн хүмүүс нормынхан шэрэг хийгээрээ манай топод байнга үзэж шэрэг хийгээд ороод ирээ. Equinox Twist NB Monde дээр нокдаун өгсөн хоёр Монгол баг хоорондоо таарсан. Equinox болон NB хоорондоо таарж байгаа юм байна.
You might try to use water to get to an over Pinoy, but that also will be camped. So I feel like this is why there's a lot.
За 7AK бол гүүрээр гарч иж байгаа. Equinox-ийн гүүрэн дээр цэнгэр байшин дээр атак хийж байгаа. NB Sport-ийн хурдлаа high ground-оор rotation үргэлжлүүлээд яваад өнгөрсөн.
Camping, coming up with probably with a good gun in his hand, trying to knock out.
Astra World-ийн баг болох нь цаг хугацааны ил асуудал гэсэн байна.
This side I'm quite sure as well.
За Niki share-тэй явж байгаа юм байна. Манайхан live stream-аа шууд хянаад явж байгаа учраас манайхан share-ийн таг явуулаад өгөөрэй. 57 үзэгчтэй мөртлөө хоёрхан share-тэй явж байна. Тэгэхээр үзэж байгаа хүн болгон өөрсдөө дор бүрнээ share хийгээд өгөөрэй. Олон хүнд бас түгээгээр Монгол баг тамирчтай илүү олон монголчуудаа дэмжин штэ. Stronger team за Sosnoco military base дээр анханасаа буултыг хийсэн баг тамирчид Монгол баг тамирчид beating Crovence дээр knockdown-ыг Stronger senior өгсөн.
And we have Stronger esports in a bit of a scruff here against BIT here, but both teams
За энэ бол
they are just letting them know.
PUBG Mobile National Championship сөөгтэй wild card их болох тэмцээн буюу одоо эндээс цаашаа Pro League руу тамирчид бол орох боломжтой болдог энэхүү тэмцээнд орсноороо Норма хийсэн гинэ баярлаа. Тэгээ энд Монгол 8 баг тамирчид бол өрсөлдөж тэмцээнд оролцож байгаа. Шилдэг 16 баг тамирчдын тулаан энээс цаашаа Grand Final-ын тоглолт руу 11 баг тамирчид явах ёстой. За нэмээд 5 баг нь PMNC-с 5 баг орж ирээд 16 багийн тоглолт Grand Final-ын тоглолт нь 12 сарын 27, 8, 9, 30-нд болох хуваартай байгаа шүү.
They have a good position. They should be able to capitalize it. That means coming up.
NBA Fitzboy голоор сэлээд наашаа гарч ирж байгаа бол 7AK-ийн голын иргэн дагуудаа чеклээд явцсан. Уртл нь NBA-ийн тамирчид бол Shaq-ны ойролцоо позишнтэй байгаа юм байна. Би спортын тамирчид Rio Spray-год нокдаун өгөөд эхэлсэн. 6 матч тоглоно.
A lot of engagements at the start of the game and they haven't caught up breath. But team 7AK has find he might be going into a bit of difficulty. Team 9 moving towards team.
За 32 ширтэй явж байгаа юм байна.
If they walk into this trap, they might just get eliminated, but I feel like they already know that somebody is already in those compounds holding those areas and they might be just going for the kills, but the rest of team 7AK guys, they're really far away from them. There's a bit of dispersion, 2 players on the bridge and
Би спортын энэс тимтэй за энэ фарм ойролцох warehouse-д байлж байгаа. Энэс нь болоочтой Fashion дээр нокдауныг өгсөн. Цаанаас Alpha 7 гойны дотсонд Alpha 7 нээдэнд орох уу? Damage Nether range цаашаа давчиж байгаа юм байна. Ryuk алта кило бол авчин. Би спорт Ryuk болон сөүлэс. За энэ бигийнхэн бол Монгол баг тамирчид байгаа. Kapshak VSS-д өөрөө тусал цустай үлдсэндээ. Kapshak дээр нокдамер Ryuk өгсөн. За эндээс Alpha 7 л ганцаараа соолоо үлдэж байна. Багасаа double knockout-ыг авсан талж сөүлэстэй шууд тулахаар Alpha 7 уушаа зүвтгээд ороод ирлээ. Нормайсэн шүү програм баярлаа. За ингээд би спортын багаар дөрүүлнэ шүү бодтой. Үүн шартаагаас та хайцрын зүгээр буудаж өгөөд л дуусгаж байна. 15 тимийн 55 толож үлдсэн. За зооны центр бол Sosnoka Military Base болсон байгаа.
A wonderful performance, 2 kills on Ryuk side, 2 elimination points on the Solar side, and I feel like that was not an easy fight to take, but the way they used those curves, the way their mechanical skills were absolutely on point, but we got a bigger.
За Новгийн гүүр центртэй тараг Equinox-ийн бол гоё позишн дээр ороод иржээ. NBA Sport руу 7AK иргэн дагуудаа шахаад очсон. ISSL гүүрээр ротейшн хийж гарч ирж байгаа. Сэрхэшин хийсэн шүү гэнэ баярлаа. За Strong-ийн Fair Fire-ийн гүүрэн дээр атак хийж байгаа буцаа татсан ротейшн өргөжлөлнө. За Astra Academy-ийн Gadka чиглэлээс гүүрээр гараад ирэх бах. Pochinki-гоос Classic 902-ын гарч ирнэ. Victor Gaming School-ийн бортлогоос уруудад орж ирж байгаа юм байна. Strong-ийн 7 Battle Draft дээр лүүдтэй. Top Elimination Leaders дээр Ines Sharpix, B Sporter Ryuk, Big-ийн Soulless, Strong-ийн Senior, Equinox-ийн Twist нар багтаж байгаа юм байна. Argus Flex дээр Strong-ийн тоглогч 7 тулаад ирсэн. Яа, хоёр тоглогчийн дунд хизүү штэ 7 маш ивгүй позишнээр мөрөж орж ирсэн. Нөгөө талд нь тоглож байсаар Flex-ийг дээдлээс нь ноклох орлого хийсэн. За double knockout-ыг Argus дээр triple knockout-тай болсон Argus Strong-ийн 3 киллийг нэгэнтээ хийж авах боломж болцоо та болж байна.
And will get elimination by running him over. Unfortunate way to go, but it is going to be a stronger esports. So with the one man down, they do have 3 up. So they're not going to be too unhappy.
Equinox 2 elimination point Arx-ын сүүдийн талаач Zolex-ыг дуусгахаар шийдсэн.
Play going like one losing one play. I feel like they're not exactly very happy.
SITM QB CMF-ийн тоглогч Naruto гунагсан. ISL Jimmy за ISL 7AK-тэй гүүрэн дээр байлж байгаа. Equinox-ын Kesa Arx Zolex руу шахаад очсон.
Trying to not make any kind of noise and still going ahead trying to punish a bit of Zolex, but Zolex gets spotted by Ligro, takes him down, and Team RX squad is the
За RX team-ийн нэг дуусаж байна 14 team 46 натаж үлдлээ.
I feel like I don't usually see this map, but I give all the credits to the circle that we have seen. And this kind of circle makes everyone go crazy.
SITM double CMF Naruto дуусан False дуусгаж байна. SITM Sport-ийн CMF багт дуусглаа да. CMF дуусаж байна. 13 team 43 тоглогч.
eliminated in 14th place. So we are 13th
Өчигдрийн яваад
up
байсан
right now. Equinox
PMNC
was a
wild
bit
card явж
alone.
байгаа шүү мөнгөс ухасаж
I
шүү.
think they got one elimination, but that was about it. But now looking down, looking at stronger esports here, looking at one of the players just driving around, not really finding the shots there, and will be able to get into cover. A lot of these the teammates are actually divided across the map. Stronger esports have taken up quite a bit of space, and they are trying to hold off players, trying to rotate into the ring as well. So they're looking for those easy eliminations. But the problem here is if they do realize, if any of the teams realize how split they are, they might just get pushed down. So they need to be careful with that as well.
Obviously, I feel like that's double-edged
За
sword.
Ryuk-тэр
Persian gives you a lot of
Ryuko дээр
cover that lot of
Twix-ийн
angles
Infor
to the
3-ийн
cover,
single
lot of
tap
shot
маш
control,
гоё
and
damage
you have
өгсөн.
multiple angles to the fight you're taking, but one thing is you can get rushed. You cannot provide that kind of a support to your teammate. For example, Twist, if he gets rushed right now, the other players cannot do much in that case. So it's like a 1v3 that is already taking, obviously, but from the right angle, he's being covered. So it's like a double-edged sword, and how you pull it off. At the same time, Ligru comes in with that mini 14, takes one player down. But I feel like it's going to be very difficult for him to eliminate him from the game. They are in a good cover, but I feel like another strike.
Equinox надад Casey гүүрний харалтаа артлын чулуунаас инхүү спрей өгöd. За 7AK-ийг eliminate хийж авахгүй дээ. Synix-ийг revive хийгээд босгоод ирж байгаа. Ryuko босгоод ирж байгаа юм байна.
A bit early, and the second player is down.
Төмөрсөг цагаарт нь гоё кастер хийдэг шүү амжилт гэсэн. Хоо хөхөө хаа орой өдөргий. Батка хаа орой өдөргий. За манай орж ирсэн та бод байнга үзлээ. Нормынхаа шэрэг хийгээд эхлэнэ гэдэгт итгэлтэй байна. 51-ийн шэртэй явж байгаа. NB Sport-ын за зооны центр л ороод исэн классикийн бас зоонд орчин. За Astra-гийн Victor Gaming-тэй байлдаа. Victor Gaming Aircast-ын дуусаж байна. Atlas нь Apex нь болоочод орж ирж байгаа. Call-ийн Blue Zone-аас орж ирнэ. Victor Gaming Astra 2 л rotation давхцчлаа да яах аргагүй. За энэхүү Victor Gaming дуусаж Astra-гийн тавалтанд ялтыг авч байна.
Quite early on, not something that you see or not something that we saw yesterday from them, but they have been eliminated quite early on into this map number 1 of the day. But like I was saying, I think SITM are going to have a little bit of a pressure point there, trying to cross the bridge. They do have I think 2 teams around. One was ISSL who was camping the bridge. But they do only
Equinox Cage Now-гийн өндөрлөг дээр гараад ирсэн. За доотлох нь цагуурын хүрээлэн дээр Stronger-ийн орж ирсэн юм байна.
They do have a real good position right now on the ring, but they will have to move at some point though.
Equinox-ын TV's Battle Draft дээр лүүд хийсэн.
Himself on that good loot. I really want to know what he got his hand on. Maybe it's a sniper, a good. Obviously, there will be a level 3 helmet, level 3 vest definitely. But Team A, they can damage from blue zone, and this is the main question that we were discussing.
SITM Sport дөрвөлнэш поинттэй. За тэдний Equinox-аас нааш спрей орж ирсэн. SITM-ийн дэше гарна гэдэг хэцүү.
Team number 9, they are in a bit of trouble, being sandwiched right from Equinox and team SITM from the right side, and things gonna get difficult before they start to get easy. At the same time, team SITM team ISSL on the right behind them, so it's this team to survive. I want to know how they pull off. Jiro coming in with that buggy, do want to come in and try to make sure he gets reunited with his team. Don't want to take this fight while being divided.
За ISSL-ийн мөн SITM Sport-ийн артлаас rotation нэгэд орж ирсэн. 7AK SITM Sport-ийн тоглогчийг зам дээр ирсэн. Сууглаад авчлаа. Rotation дээр ирсэн. Добог суулаад авч байгаа юм байна. SITM Монгол баг тамирчид. Call me pasta Apex-ийн unknown-ыг дуусаад байсан. ISSL тоглогчийг маш гоё twist суулаад авлаа. Lottery-г суулаад авч байгаа юм байна. 12 тимийн 37 тоглогч.
But Lucifer will get out. In the meantime, we have QB dying to the zone there, and SITM do lose another. In the meantime, we have ISSL Noob Alliance getting eliminated, down to 11 squads here, and things are definitely heating up.
11 тимийн 34 дамжиж үлдсэн.
Stronger esports here, but not really finding a shot, trying to get as many shots in as possible. There is no one inside the car. He does not realize this. Desert has moved outside from the vehicle, hiding behind the tree for the time being. But Equinox, just a bird's eye view of anyone.
Equinox багаар 6 elimination point-тэй болсон.
Eliminations, they are already up to 6. In the meantime, we have CSC classic 992 there, getting an elim. 7AKX, they were in a bad position. They were getting pressured, but they are still up 3 numbers. If they were near the bridge, they are trying to push forward now. I think there is one squad ahead of them.
And that's a great move. Didn't expect them to survive to all of this ruckus that was.
Астрагийн бага 6 киллтэй. За 11 тимийн 33 тоглож Астра болон Classic 902 хоорондоо таарсан.
All of that, they have managed to survive with 3 players still standing. Team BIT right in front of Team Stronger Esports, and Rola is a bit ahead of from the rest of his team. Takes a bit of damage from the nade. Needs to be careful if one.
The Stronger-ийн биттэй энхүү
go down. Okay, has to be careful.
Сосын ангар дээр байлаад ирсэн. Яа senior дээр нээд ороод ирсэн. Econox-ийн KSX Stronger Firhad алж чад спрэгод KSX дуусаж байна.
KSX 7X takes him down and eliminates him, and Econox takes the first hit that they were not hoping for. Roll at the same time, he gets his health back up. Farhad trying to revive his player. Team BIT or BIT they are trying to push in towards their team strong as well. It's not gonna make it easy.
Classic 902 бол яг үндсэн сасаасаа буюу C чиглэлээс орж ирнэ. NB Akasa Stronger Roll дээр нокдаун өгсөн.
At this time Sino goes down as well, and we are left with only one player from Stronger.
BT-ийн дашигтай байдлаас Stronger-ын Roll-ыг ноколцсон. Firhad double knockout-тай за senior дээр эхэлж revive хийх ба.
Towards a good point, so he's just gonna go down with the rest of his team.
It's a bit of a scruff here for Stronger Esports. They were in a really good position. They managed to retaliate against Equinox, but now they are getting pressured heavily from BIT. They do get the elimination as well. Equinox pushing on the other side of the map as well against 7AKX. Fights blowing up all across the map right now. We are into the 4th ring as well, which is closing down. So this is where all the the fight, the action is going to be at. And we do see teams taking multiple.
Call me Pelsan Astra-гийн B лидер нокаут өгчлээ. За Astra болон Team Call хоорондоо таарсан байна.
Anyone push forward. In the meantime, we have CALL taking a fight against.
Яа, сайд дээр нед орцсон.
They will get the another knock with the net coming in. A lovely net there from Pelzang there. I think that's Pelzang. And meantime, SITM will find an elimination on the Stronger Esports as well.
Stronger-ийн дуусаж SITM-ийн Dessert Jira-нар үлдлээ. B Sports Souls Review-нар үлдсэн маань Classic 902 бүтэн squad-аар явж байгаа. Astra-гийн сайрыг ногтлолцсон Team Call зооны захаас шахсан. Яа, дахиж нед орж сайрыг гүйцээчлээ.
And Team 2A Billy, he also goes down. One player left, and that is going to be Domi. He's also taken a lot of damage. Circle is pushing in. Colin Max also trying to push in with only one player left, and it's gonna be difficult for him. Tries to land some final shots, and that's gonna be it for team number 17. Gets eliminated.
Macfan дууссан 9 тимийн 23 тоглож үлдэж байна. Astra-гаас Billy Domi ирүүлсэн.
4 points that they have just gained. Needs to be careful. On the other side. Team 9 teams alive, 23 players. Team number 3 with mini.
NB Fitzboy, Akasa Sekner, Classic 902 спорт. За Classic наатлаас нь B мөргөд очсон. NB мөргөд B-ийн мөргөж цагуурын удирдлагын байрнаар орж ирж байгаа.
Placement points, so they are looking to try and rotate into the ring. Some of them are still outside the zone as well. In the meantime, NB Esports did manage to grab an airdrop as well.
Ванзи дотор дуусгаад байлаа BT-ийн.
We do have SITM
Classic гэдэг BT дуусгаж байна. За ингээд 9 тимийн 20-ны тоглож үлдсэн.
B Esports also with the 2 members are quite safe for the time being. Meanwhile, Equinox trying to go across. NB is pressuring them quite a bit. We have 2A on the other side as well. It's a 3-way fight here. In the meantime, Classic 922 is holding the fort down here. They are going to be pushing BIT here, who does have only 2 players left inside the building. They are looking to push this. They need to be careful also. They don't want to get a shotgun down here. 2A in the meantime will take a little bit of damage here. Dom is going to be the one taking damage here. And 2A Billy is trying to cover his teammate for the time being, but the scruff is happening with 3 different players, 3 different teams in the engagement. A lovely net not really doing a lot of damage, might get pushed down, and we need to be careful here.
Econox NB-ийн дулаан
very low HP, he might get knocked here. 3 players are around the area. They are not really fighting. There's another smoke. He's going to get laid down. He is trying to cross here. Needs to be very careful. Does not go for the heal. He managed to reposition himself with that smoke. A very smart play coming out from him. Will be able to heal back up.
За SITM-ээр татаж цаанаас орж Dessert Jira-нар орж ирж байгаа юм байна. Монгол баг тамирчдын хооронд зүгээр халуун тулаан болдог наасан. За 7AK болон Apex-аар ил тооцсон бол бус нь Монгол баг тамирчид үзэж байгаа юм шиг байна шүү дээ. SITM-ээр Big-ийн Soul-с нугаад өгсөн.
onto SITM there. That's going to be massive for them. Again, racking up eliminations yet with just the 2 players. They will find another knock onto 7AKX as well. Will get the elim as well and gets another elimination also. These guys are going absolutely ham. In the meantime, 7AKS will get eliminated. Equinox there.
NB Sport дуусаж 6 тим 14 тоглож үлдсэн.
We are losing teams left, right and center down to the last 6 now.
I mean, before we even can pronounce the name, that team is being eliminated right in front of our eyes. Team Equinox, they have used their position in the circle wonderfully. Got their hand on some wonderful elimination points, but Team SITM.
За тийм Equinox-ийн бол үйлдвэр дээр зоондоо гоё позишн дээр орсон. За тэр SITM Sport-ын тамирчид Desert Jiron орлоо. Big-ийн Seoul Ryuk шахаад аваад ирж байгаа.
Might be in a bit of trouble. I like the dispersion. I mean, one nade can't deal damage to both of them, but have they realized as well? Solar takes just a tiny bit damage from the nade coming from SITM. Then nothing concerning. And B got their hand on the edge of the circle. Team CSC 3 elimination. They haven't been a part of much fight, but they got some great placement within the circle right now. 3 players alive, got their hands on a compound, and they're just trying to hold that fort within their hand. Team SITM still takes a bit of damage.
За би Seoul-с спрейд маш аимшигтай булаацсан байгаа. SITM Desert Jiron-оор
spotted by OPX and Team SITM at the same time. Smokes have been deployed, trying to get some fake cover.
Equinox B, Classic, SITM Astra NB. За ингээд 5 баг нь Монгол. Apex гадаад баг байна.
That's just his last nade, try to deal any kind of damage, and it's gonna be going to futile. We have some molotovs left on his side. Let's see if he can deal some kind of damage.
SITM Sport overall ranking 105 pointтай тэргүүлж байгаа.
SITM also down to 2 players, so B Sports also taking that fight. It's just the 2 players left, and while all that is happening,
Astra-гийн хоёр тоглогч Billy Domeo шууд Snake-лээд үйлдвэрлэлөө Equinox тал руугаа шахаад аваад ирсэн. Тойрогтой орхон чухал байгаа. Domi дээр спрей очиж байна. Damage авсан Domi knockout-тай Equinox-ийн Ligro Domi-г ноклаад өгсөн.
Domi there and might get the elimination. Does get spotted by Billy, who was covering his teammate, and now he is going to be taking zone damage, so needs to be careful. And he's going to get thrown out. Will not. Does a little bit of damage, but will not get the knock there. But down to the last man, Billy is going to be the only one alive, and going to be a tough one for him.
Би Seoul-с SITM Desert-ыг унгасан. 6 тим 13 тоглогч. За тэр Apex хоёр тоглогч бол гямдаагаад зооны захаас байдлыг ажиал тоглолтын дээр нь оролцохгүй байгаад байна.
Meanwhile, we have B Esports still checking this fight against SITM. Desert needs to be careful. He is hiding behind.
Seoul-сыг яа даашаа орохт нь дэсэн SITM Jiron knockout хийсэн. За зөрүүлээд молотойг явуулж байгаа. Ryuk гэхдээ SITM Jiron дуусгасан. 5 тим 11 тоглож үлдлээ.
As well, B Esports did have a really good fight, but they will finally go out in 6th place, and SITM will be able to recover his teammate. A really good player coming out from them, holding the 2 angles, forcing B.
За Apex-ийг таацах юм бол 4 Монгол баг тамирчид үлдсэн. Classic 922. Equinox, Astra болон SITM Sport-ын тамирчид.
Team T2A on the other side, one of them one only of like those players surviving. They got 8 elimination points, and I feel like he'll try his utmost best to just get himself more and more survival points. The major concern is Team Equinox have an idea that Billy is somewhere hiding, and he is right there. He has to get out of that situation as well. Cage is gonna coming from the other angle. That as soon as Billy gets up, he's gonna go down. OPX now they have aim, and they
Apex-ийн SITM Sport-тэй байлцсан 2-5-наас
taking a fight with B. They have another challenge in front of them in the form of OPX. Nades are being thrown on their way. Nothing or very less damage. Nothing concerning for Team SITM.
Team Equinox гуруулаа. За Classic-ийн бас гуруулаа явж байгаа.
Because it has gone away from those 2 teams.
SITM Apex хоёр зооны гадна талаас байлдаж орж Blue Zone шахаж эхэлсэн.
They go in, and I feel like it's going to be much more difficult. So it could be the end of the
SITM Jiron plays on the knockout.
Obviously Jiro goes down.
За Apex-ийн 8 plays on the бас ноксон.
And this is as we expected to happen.
Yeah, and I think Equinox yet again on angle doing a really good job.
Yeah, I hope there Twist-ийн маш гайхалтай орчлоо.
Get a knock with that grain coming out from Twist, and that might get the elimination as well. No, he does not, but
Classic 902, Equinox 902-тэй.
From that building, they will get another knock onto the Classic Esports here. Classic Esports did have a really good push and will get the elimination as well. Now
Equinox-ийг дуусгаад авсан. За ингээд 3 тимийн 5 тоглож үлдэж байна. Astra болон Equinox за Apex-ээр таларч танаад үлдсэн. Apex соол байгаа. Unknown соолоо юм байна. Ариук Аран бол хай, Туяд Цган бол хай.
Is going to be the other player, so it's a 3v1v1 here, and Equinox in a really good position to grab the chicken dinner here. Unknown will run into Billy by the looks of it before they run into Equinox. Equinox playing this safe there. They know that they have the chicken dinner inside, and with 15 elimination, these guys have been going absolutely ham.
Astra BT Apex Unknown-ыг тусгаж. За ингээд 2 эсрэг 2 3 эсрэг дүүлийг Astra-гийн Billy 3-7 эсрэг хийх юм байна.
Has a couple of needs to work with as well. Needs to be careful though, taking limited damage from his own bot. Did he take some damage with his own grenade?
Oh, I think that's a bit of a glitch coming in. The doors seem to be closed, but it is open at the same time. 1v1 comes off.
Yeah, Equinox-ийн чигээр идэж байна.
To take Billy down. I feel like he had a lot of confidence going to this fight. It was a 3v1. That's why he was going out of his way to take that fight. Billy threw the nade, but I thought it would like it bounced back.
16 elimination-тэй 31 point-ыг авч 2479 damage-ийг үзүүлсэн.
Not to himself, not to the other team. But one winner chicken dinner for Equinox. They had a wonderful
За map хоорондын завсарлага бол маш удаан болдог учраас хоёр дахь map Miramar map дээр гээд болчихъя.
It shows that why they're one of the good teams out there. They converted that good position into a very good game. 16 elimination points, 15 placement points, 31 total points, and almost 224.79 total damage. So that was a bit of both from their side. Quite impressed by them. At the same time, I'm very impressed by 2A Billy. The way he survived till the end of the game, got himself in the second position, 8 elimination, maybe 9 eliminations, and 12 points. That's 21 to 22 points that we got from his team. SITM also doing a bit of dent, still maintaining that consistency. And I'm very impressed by them because they were the least favored by the cycle. They were maybe towards the north side.
Yeah. Yeah, SITM had a really good game considering the position that they were in to come back into the game, get a couple of eliminations. They had to cross the bridge held by 2-3 different teams. ISSL was behind them, 7X and Equinox both were holding on the other side of the bridge, and they had a really tough job getting themselves into the circle, but they did manage to come in, get a couple of eliminations in the meantime as well, and it's just making the best of a really bad situation. But again, consistency is going to be where they're going to be strong, and they did manage to get a couple of eliminations. They got a couple of placement points, so they are going to be holding on to that top spot. But Equinox, this is the second time. I mean, yesterday also, starting the day off, they did get that chicken dinner, and today is no different. They come in the first game of the day and they do get the chicken dinner, but this time around they get it with a massive margin, 31 points and 15 eliminations under their belt. Twist getting 8 here, and Ligro getting 4. We have Kage Gigi getting 4, as well as Kesek 7. Okay, Kesek getting no elimination, but definitely helping out in terms of knocks as well as assists. But damage dealt, look at how much damage Twist has done, 1151. Good God.
I mean, if you put Ligro, Cake, and Kesek, obviously, I hope we are not pronouncing any of those names wrong. On one side and put Twist on the other side, he can carry his team easily. 8 elimination just on his side, 1151 damage just from him coming in, and I feel like that was absolutely wonderful for Twist. So Kesek also got like caught off on the wrong angle, wrong position. That was a bit unfortunate. That did hurt Equinox, and I feel like that might have been a point where Equinox had could gone down, but no Twist with his teammates. They were absolutely wonderful throughout the game, but we have at the same time, I feel like game number 2, 3, like rest of the games coming up, the team that couldn't perform due to the cycle. Obviously, again, this was not an easy cycle to get in. If it was toward maybe Milta, to a farm, to the shelter, I go like, oh, this might have been some team's mistake, but no, this was just one of those very difficult cycles. I hope teams can bounce back. Let this game not get to them.
Yeah, I think that's a vital part of playing a long series as well, right? Because you need to understand that they were like majority of the teams were fighting on the back foot as soon as the first when they realized where the circle is going to be at, and they had a long way to go through, and then crossing the two bridges, which is going to be held by multiple teams, was no easy task. So some teams were able to do it more effectively than others, but it was just unfortunate situation for some of them where they lost too many in while crossing the bridge. But let's take a look at who is the top player for game number 1 is gonna be, and it is obviously gonna be Equinox Twist. Yeah, I mean, hands down, this man just went absolutely insane. The MVP with 1151 damage, a survival time of 2610. with a 300-meter elimination coming in. Oh, good God, that's a long range shot. And overall, 8 elimination with 1 headshot as well. This man definitely deserves to be MVP of this match. Just putting up an absolute amazing performance for his team.
And looking at the average MVP, that average MVPs has those stats like they were like for 7 to 6 kills maybe. The survival time is almost the same. The damage is less. The headshot is also a bit like obviously zero. So that is Twist going out of his way to be MVP. So at the same time, we have top players other than Twist. We have seen Twist is like 26 minutes 10 seconds survival time. We have SITM Geo. He has been wonderful, and somehow the SITM also got themselves in the top 5 players. We have Lee we have Cake with 4 kills, and we have someone from BE Sports with 3 elimination points and 652 damage. But all of these stats, obviously, they're wonderful. This is what separates them from the rest of 64, 60 players or 59 players. But I am particularly very impressed with just one player responsible for wiping out 2 whole squads. I mean, put it that perspective, he just wiped out 2 squads.
Yeah, 8 eliminations. I think the highest that we had yesterday was 11 elimination, if I'm not mistaken. It
Oh.
was from I think it was from VP. If I'm VP gone, I might be wrong. We need to go back and check on that. But I think that was 11 elimination, the highest that we had yesterday. But yeah, we have had some action-packed plays coming out from all of these players. And like I said, I think the highlight here is that some of the teams have managed to learn from what did happen yesterday, and we do see B Sports carrying on that momentum that they got in the last 3 games yesterday into today as well. And we are looking at the highlights right now. This was an early engagement where B Sports lost 2 players, and I mean, it was a scuffle, right? I mean, it was a tough map. It was a tough zone to navigate, and we did see it. All the players struggling to get into zone and losing a lot of players. And this was the only Equinox player that Kesek getting taken out very early. That was the first knock that they did have and the elimination. But afterwards, Equinox just bunkered down, got those elimination, and held up a really good position and just managed to clean out the game as well. This was the play that I absolutely loved from SITM.
Obviously, I feel like the way that Giro baited the B players out with the Molotov on left side and players coming from right side, that was wonderful. So 2v2 with one player going down into 1v2, and this Twist coming in, getting those 3 kills in the last circles, or maybe 4 kills. That was particularly very impressive. Obviously, every elimination is not the same. You get an elimination that is coming on that is easy. It's not at the same time that elimination you got at the end of the circle. That is a match-winning elimination, and Twist got 3 or 4 of those last winning in elimination those last circles. So that is particularly very impressive. But one thing I wanna talk about is, and we will have match standings in front of us in a few seconds, but it's Team Stronger Esports. They were in the military circle. They were in the military base. The circle. They were in the center of the circle. They had 4 players alive. A decent loot with them. A lot of things went wrong for them because I was expecting them to be in the top 4, top 3 with decent amount of kills. But look at them. They've only got like 5 points with only 1 placement.
Yeah, and on the other side, we have 2A or Astra Esports there grabbing the second place with 9 elimination points. We have SITM Esports. I mean, I'm really impressed with this squad, right? Because they came from the northern side of the map. They were in the worst possible situation that they can be in, but ended up getting third place with 9 elimination and 6 placement points to boot as well. In the meantime, Retaliation X is going to be not too happy again, yet again, starting the day off on the back foot here, just getting that 1 point. Victor Gaming did have a very consistent performance yesterday, but falling short here in game number 1 for the day. And 7AKS as well, not really living up to their potential. But like you said, I think Stronger Esports had, I'm not entirely sure what exactly went wrong for them. They had such a strong position starting off, and they were not able to convert that. But I mean, the number 1 placement, Equinox, yet again, winning game number 1 for the day, or match 7 in the entire series, with 16 elimination and overall 31 points. That's a massive one. But let's take a look at the overall standing and see how Equinox, with this 31 points, have they moved up at all?
Coming off onto the second page, we have Retaliation X. They haven't been able to do a lot with this game. Obviously, with 1 point, they are still at number 16. ISSL Noble Lies at 29 points. CMF IPG at number 14. Astra Esports at number 13. 7AKSX at number 12. Team Classic at number 11 with 45 points. B Esports at number 10 with 46. Team Macman at number 9 with 46 points. And I feel like moving ahead in this page is not much difficult. You can get one game and you might move like 4 to 5 positions. But something that is concerning right now is like page number 1. The margin is a lot. You need to have multiple games consistently, good games like top 3, top 4. Then you might be able to make a dent in overall standings. At the same time, things are getting more difficult as we go along. NB with 52, Victor Gaming with 59, and Stronger Esport at 62, Inertia Esports at 64. Then we got at the same time Equinox as well. But at the top, we still have SITM. And coming on to the top performance, Terra VG Gone couldn't get a single kill in this game, but unfortunately they weren't playing as well. He still has 6 matches, but Twist with this performance, he has been able to jump to the number 2.
Yeah, I think Victor Gaming Gone, like I said, I think that one game that they had with so many eliminations on him allowed him to still hold on to that number 1 spot. But again, going back to what you were talking about, the overall standings, right? Yeah, I think the top 7 placements are going to be very hard to catch up to, and the fight is going to be between them. And then you have the number 1 and 2 positions where SITM has a massive lead after 3 chicken dinners yesterday with multiple eliminations coming in as well. They're above 100 points right now. I think they're at around 113. So that's not going to be an easy one to catch up to. And even this game number 1 for the day, they did manage to get 3rd place in overall points, and that's just going to boost them even further ahead. So this SITM team needs to perform extremely bad in the next couple of games, and a team within that top 5 to 6 needs to perform consistently across the board for them to be able to catch up. I mean, it's going to be a tough one for anyone to catch up to this team.
I feel like Terra is someone who's extremely positive, guys. So I feel like going right now, like if you're somebody who's like number 3 or 4, guys, don't worry. SITM is going to perform really badly in the next 4 games, and you're going to perform greatly in the next 4 games. I feel like that's going to happen. You're going to catch up to them. But as soon as easily we said it, it's going to be very difficult, because I was expecting SITM to not perform at all. Yep. Somehow they did, and that is worrisome for other teams, because even if you perform like Equinox, SITM still did perform. So it's like a consistently being they are consistently being good. At the same time, even if you're the better team, the margins still exist from 3 back-to-back chicken dinners. That is gonna be the main talk of the town in PMNC, maybe South Asia wildcard. What happened? I go like SITM got 3 back-to-back chicken dinners, and that pushed themselves into a really good position. And even after that, it's not looking like they're not looking to stop. They're still looking to maintain that position. They're still looking to maybe increase the margin. Obviously, something has to be done if you want to get that position away.
Yeah, indeed. And we do have 5 games left for the day as well, and we started off with an absolute banger. It's going to be interesting to see whether this momentum will carry on throughout this entire day. We have Miramar coming up next, we have Sandhawk, we have Erangel yet again for the 10th map, and then we go back into Miramar and Sandhawk. And I think I was talking with Chase yesterday, RZ, about how teams can adapt as the day goes on, because you're playing the same map over and over, right? And you're playing against the same bunch of players as well, so you do kind of adapt to their play style. You can adapt to where you want to play and how you want to play, and come up with different strategies, because you can always learn from your mistakes of playing the same map over and over again as well. But obviously the zone will come into play here. You need to get a little bit lucky in terms of the zone that you get, but overall I think teams can learn, and we have seen teams learning through their experience and coming forward. I think for me personally, I've been like, after yesterday, I have a couple of favorite teams here. SITM obviously just dominating the competition, but I think more than that, we need to look at the teams that have that potential to come up the ladder here and grab those very important points to try and take the fight to SITM. Yes, I'm very positive. I think that comes from being someone who played competitive. I think you need to be always motivated. But if you think that you can't get there at all, I don't think there is a chance. You need to reach for the stars. You can reach somewhere at least close by. And I think regardless of how SITM performs, I think you need to have that mentality to go get it. Think positively that you can catch up to this massive point lead that SITM has. Yes, it's a tough task, but it's not undoable. And I think what happens is, as the day goes on also, right, you have an idea where SITM is landing, and what certain teams will do is, if they're at the bottom of the barrel, they will try to take these aggressive fights and take these top dogs out early on. You will try to take these early fights and get these elimination points as well. So these are things that, the top teams have to look out for as well, because they are looking to hold on to position here. They are looking to be consistent throughout the entire day. And then you have the teams at the bottom, they will throw a doozy here and there, try to go in for these early fights, get a couple of eliminations, and that's what they're looking for as well. So all of these come into play as the day goes on, and as the series progresses as well. We are still into just the 7th map. We have so much more matches coming up, and I think it's going to be definitely interesting to see what some of these teams are going to be doing.
Obviously, I feel like even with SITM performing with the Team Equinox, will they take a jump with 31 points? This is still a bit early to call things. Obviously, SITM, the way they're playing, is going to be very difficult to stop them. That's easy to predict. But going ahead, I feel like it's still curiosity that any team who's maybe at page number 2 in overall standings, like maybe like 14th or 15th, not in top 12 position, top 11 position, they can still perform. Nothing is lost, nothing is out of your hand right now. Things are smooth, things are great. Obviously, you had a bit of a setback in like first 7 games, but it doesn't really matter that much. You can still come back, you can perform, and playing on the next map of Miramar, which will be like the action is going to start in maybe 20 seconds. This could be a map where you come back easily. You have all the territory you need. The circle is never ever a very weird circle like on the map of Sandhawk, and the map of Erangel as well. So you can have all the time you need, you can have all the vehicles as well, a good loot, and this could be a map where you can make a potentially a very good comeback. Next map won't you do that, last map wouldn't be able to do that. This could be a map. So I am being hopeful for those teams that are in the maybe in the top, not in the top 12.
So with that, we have match number 2 for day number 2 here, match number 8 on Miramar here. And like RZ said, I think this is a really good map for them to come back, and I really want to see certain teams really perform, because I think they have got a little bit unlucky here and there. Especially I feel like VP they have been getting a little bit unlucky in terms of their positioning, and the ring also VG getting a little bit unlucky with their positioning and the way that the map has been treating them. But I feel like they are a team that deserves to be up there in terms of how they have been performing, especially VG Gone. He has been putting up a really good performance. Then Inertia Esports, they did get a chicken dinner yesterday, a really good stuff coming out from them as well. I want to see these teams who have been performing in a game and then not performing in the next, have a consistent performance and take the fight to these top teams here. But with that, we have everyone dropping off into Miramar.
And coming from El Pozo's side towards the Al-Azhar, we have seen like that's this fight path that favors toward the northern part of the map. The center is still accessible. It will be a bit difficult to access that southern part of the map towards Los Egos, Valedemar, I feel like, but a very few teams like to play those areas. El Pozo, we have one team coming towards the El Pozo 2A, which is towards the outskirts of El Pozo, but looking at the circle, it's obviously different circle. We still have a bit of water in that play area, but nothing concerning. Obviously, we can enter from north side towards the east side. It's a bit different, nothing concerning the Lost Owners, Tumasaya, Minas Develop. These areas are still empty. Any team that tries to rotate can take that road networks toward the eastern part of the map and come from that angle if you want to try any kind of fight, but needs to be careful. Teams stronger esports, they have been they like dropped off at like the far west side of the map, and that will also put them off like maybe from a potential clash, and they can use that to get themselves in a good position. But for now, they are trying to find themselves good gun, good vehicles, and Farad is leaving his teammate behind in that beautiful Jeep.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we see Equinox in an early engagement here. I'm not entirely sure. It is against BIT right now. We have Twist trying to take an early fight here. He has a shotty in hand, but we have the player from BIT just scampering off there. Does not want to get eliminated this early on. But Twist, he is very confident. He's looking for the fight, but not going to be finding the player for some time at least, because the player from BIT is over the hill right now, looking down on what Twist has been doing.
Obviously, I feel like we got a bit of a technical issue that might just get solved in a bit of time, but I am hopeful. At the same time, I feel like this Generally talking about this map, this could be we were discussing, especially for stronger esports. They are on the far side, west side of the game. The circles toward the far west side. They can use that road area to connect towards the center of the map circle. Coming from that angle, the Los Leonos is something that could be hit quite early. I've seen a lot of teams do that. From that plane path, you could easily predict that circles to maybe areas towards the southern part of the map is inaccessible. And look at that, SITM. I feel like I connect with this team very much. I feel like you could go to those Los Leonas, they should be empty, and look who does that. SITM goes to that area, probably will be looting, and they can rotate easily towards the, not the center exactly, but a bit south to the center towards Tumasera. But PIT Sports League takes him down and is trying his level best to come in, like maybe get the knock